Morning. For this sequence, what we're going to do is just try to keep moving the whole time. So don't worry too much about getting into the final posture. Just get what you get and then we'll move on to the next one. So you're trying to get a sort of fluid, flowing movement rather than fussing about where your foot is all the time. Okay? So we'll start at the front of the mat. Feet are at hip width apart. Just stretch your arms out to the side and up. Then bend your elbows and reach your hands back behind your head. Then reach your arms forward and round your upper back. And then reach your arms back. Maybe you can interlace your fingers and arch your upper back. Then reach your arms forward and round all of your back. So bend your knees, let your lower back round as well. And then reach your arms back and tip your hips forward. Try to arch your lower back as well. Then stretch your right arm up. Your left hand is on your left hip. And stretch as far over to the left as you can. And then just change sides. The left arm is up and you reach as far over to the right as you can. And then stretch both arms up. And then bend at the knees and the hips and just touch your fingertips to the floor. And then stretch back up. And then forward again, just touching your fingertips to the floor. One more coming all the way up. And then touch your fingertips to the floor. We're going to take a couple of breaths here, shifting the weight from side to side. And just creep your fingertips around to the left. And then around to the right. And then back to the center. Press your hands down. We're going to step both feet back. Bring your knees down to the floor and just stretch forward. Upward facing dog. And then stretch back, child's pose. And then all the way forward. So you could just choose to be all fours and arch your back. And all the way back, child's pose. And again, coming forward, upward dog or all fours, whatever. And child's pose. In this child's pose, I'm going to stretch my right arm all the way out to the right side and then just reach the left arm diagonally across to the right. And then back to the center. Take the left arm all the way out to the left side, and then reach the right arm diagonally across. And then back to the center, rolling forward to that upward facing dog. This time we're going to roll back to downward facing dog. Just tuck the toes, try to push the hips back, that's the most important movement, hips move back. And then forward, upward facing dog. And back to downward facing dog, hips up and back. And upward facing dog. This time we're going to go back to child's pose. Push the hips back. And then downward facing dog, hips up and back. Stay in this downward dog and just shift your weight from side to side so your weight moves from one foot to the other, from one hand to the other. Feel when the weight comes into your hand, you push the fingertips down. Then find the middle. We're going to step the right foot forward, left knee down to the floor and just press forward with your hips. And then step back. And then the left foot comes forward. Just wherever it lands, press the hips forward. You can creep the foot forward if you like, but it's not important. You're going to step back. Right foot forward. Keep the left hand on the floor. Stretch your right arm up. Bring your right hand to the floor. Step your right foot back. Left foot forward. Stretch your left arm up. Nice deep breath. Bring your left hand to the floor, step your left foot back. Right foot forward, left knee down. This time we're going to grip the fingertips back, start to straighten the front leg. You can come to upright if it's easier for you. We're going to roll forward into the lunge and then back into that straight leg. So you might have the right foot down or lifted, whatever. So rolling forward and rolling back. Maybe you want a blanket underneath your back knee. You might have your fingertips on the floor, rolling back and rolling forward. This time when we roll back, we're going to stay here. So if you're upright, just keep your hands to your chest. If you're forward, fingertips are on the floor, you might feel like you can drop the chest a little bit. And then rolling back into the lunge, stepping back, left foot forward. Same thing on the left side, just rolling back into straight leg and forward into lunge. Maybe you're doing that with the hands at the chest. Just be rolling forward and back. Maybe you've got the fingertips on the floor. Just trying to keep the movement quite smooth. You might walk your hands. Next time we come back, we're going to take a breath or two here. You might feel like you can drop the chest. It's not the most important thing. And we're going to roll forward into that lunge and step back. Downward facing dog. Just again, just shifting around, maybe bend one knee and straighten the other. And then swap. And then push both heels down. And then step the right foot forward. Same low lunge, the back knee is on the floor. Stretch your arms up towards the ceiling. We're going to come down into a twist. So the left elbow comes across the right knee. And you can put your hand on your hip or have your hands in prayer, it's up to you. Nice steady breath. Stretch back up. When we bring our hands to the floor, it's on the inside of the right foot. Elbows bend and the head drops down. And straighten the elbows, we're going to step back. Left foot forward. Right knee down. Coming up into that low lunge, stretch the arms up. Coming into the twist, right elbow across the left knee, either the hands are in prayer or the left hand is on the left hip. Coming back up. As we come forward, we're coming to the inside of the left foot. Bend your elbows, drop your head down. Straighten your elbows and step back. Downward facing dog. Step your right foot forward, this time to the outside of the right hand. Left knee down, press the hips towards the floor, and then step back. Left foot forward to the outside of the left hand. Right knees down, press the hips forward. And step back. Press the heels towards the floor. And then bring your knees down, child's pose. Tuck your chin, stretch your arms back on the floor behind you. Stretch your arms forward. Downward facing dog. Push the hips up and back. We're going to step the right foot forward. This time we're coming up into a high lunge. The back knee is off the floor. Stretch your arms up. And step back. Back into that downward facing dog. Push the heels towards the floor. Step your left foot forward. High lunge. Stretch your arms up. Hands back to the floor. Step that left foot back. We're pressing the heels down to the floor, so stretching the calf muscles. Step your right foot forward. Back into that high lunge. The back heel is lifted, the back knee is lifted. Stretch your arms up. Then bring your hands to the chest. and turn your chest to the right. Nice steady breath, just trying to hold strong position in the legs. Stretch the left arm towards the front of the room. We're going to bring this hand to the floor and stretch the right arm up. Try to keep the breathing easy. Bring the right hand to the floor and step back. Press down into the heels. Step your left foot forward. High lunge. Bring the hands to the chest and turn the chest to the left. Stretch the right arm towards the front of the room. Then bring the right hand to the floor and stretch the left arm up. Nice steady breath. Bring the left hand down, step back, downward dog. Push the heels down towards the floor. Bring the right foot forward. It's that same high lunge. Come up, stretch up. Reach the arms back behind you, interlace the fingers and stretch the chest, arch the back as much as you comfortably can. And then stretch your arms up. When we bring the hands to the floor, it's the inside of the right foot. Bend the elbows, drop the head. The back knee stays off the floor. You want to push the hips up towards the ceiling. Then straighten the elbows, step the right foot back, downward facing dog. Step the left foot forward, high lunge. Stretch up. Then reach the arms back, interlace the fingers, and arch the back as much as you can. Then stretch back up when we come to the floor on the inside of the foot. Bend the elbows, let your head hang down, press the hips up towards the ceiling. Straighten the elbows, step the left foot back, downward facing dog. Press the heels down towards the floor, stretch the calf muscles. Then look forward, then step both your feet forward into sitting. That might be to cross legs or just whatever exciting manoeuvre you've got. Lay down onto your back, your knees are bent and your heels are up close to your hips. Rest the arms by your sides. Just press down with your feet. We're going to curl up into a small back bend. So you want to start at the bottom of your spine, trying to curl your spine one segment at a time off the floor. So the lowest part first. So then the sacrum, then the lower back. That might be as high as you're going, that's fine. Maybe the mid back. You might even feel like you can lift the upper back. So the lift is coming from the legs. You press the feet down. Use the back of the leg and the back of the hip to try to lift. Should feel comfortable in your back. Don't go to a place where it feels pinchy. Should feel nice. When you're as high as you can go, try to shift your weight gently from side to side. So just heavy in one foot and then heavy in the other. So a little movement. Then find the middle and curl back down. So you start at the top, upper back down, mid back, lower back, sacrum. Bring your feet off the floor, put your hands on your knees and just roll the knees in circles. And bring your feet back to the floor. So same thing, just the heels as close as you comfortably can get them to the bottom. This time stretch your arms up over your head. But the same principles apply for coming up. Press down with the feet, squeeze the back of the legs, curl up. You're just trying to curl your spine left side, that's fine. Just want to shift your weight gently. Feel that you can move around. Maybe you can arch the back a little bit more, or maybe you take some of the arch out, that's fine. Same principle as before, just curling down, nice and slowly. Bring your hands onto the knees and just rolling in circles. So we'll just do one more of these back bends. This time I'm going to have the arms back by the sides again, so you can do the same as we did the first time, or if you want to, when you get to the top, you can interlace the fingers underneath so that you can stretch the chest open a little bit more. So the arms are by the side, you curl the hips up, curl up through the spine. Just get to that comfortable position that feels good, where you're working the legs to hold that lift, but you're not working too hard. Then if you feel like you want to wriggle the shoulders under, you can do that. That's going to open the chest up, put a bit more arch in the upper back. If there's space, you might be able to interlace the fingers underneath. Still using the legs to generate the lift. Let the back muscles work on adjusting the curve. So you might arch more, or you might try and flatten it out a little bit. When you get ready to come out, you're going to undo the hands, get the shoulders out from underneath. Try to curl back down into the floor if you can. And then again, just circle the knees. Nice and easy. And then hug the knees into the chest, nice and tight. We're going to keep hold of the right knee, stretch the left leg out along the floor. Stretch your right arm out to the side. And then just start to draw that right knee over to the left. It might just be a little bit, or it might be all the way over. It's just really our last stretch, so it just needs to be comfortable. We're going to come back to the center and just change legs. So the left knee is in, the right leg is out straight. Hold on to that left knee with the right hand, stretch your left arm out to the side, and start to draw the knee across. Just nice and easy. And then back to the center. And hug both knees in again. And then bring your feet to the floor. So you just want to have 5 minutes or so laying in Shavasana. Maybe you lay with your legs out straight, or you could lay with legs up the wall if you wanted to. Just needs to be a position that's comfortable.